Hi guys, so today we make spinach meatballs. They're a little bit different from my usual meatballs. It's the best way for me to actually have Catherine eat a lot of vegetables. So this is 2 bunches of spinach that I have rinsed and then cooked with nothing other than water in this pan. This is the water when they have cooked. I'm going to pour this water over 3 big slices of sourdough bread that I just baked this morning. I'm gonna let it soften. Usually, you know that I saute the spinach before making the meatballs. This time I want to try something different. I had 1 leftover egg from yesterday's egg wash when I made the galette, and so I thought I had this fresh spinach. I usually also blend them. I think you've seen my tofu meatballs a few times. This time I actually want to find the pieces of spinach instead of blending it. And it's also, by the way, it's much easier, much more practical. You don't have to wash the food processor, and it's kind of healthier because there's no, it's not being sauteed in butter. Usually I saute everything in butter. Everything, spinach. Now, this is kind of a lazy cooking day. I don't feel like chopping an onion and crying and, I don't know. So, you know what I do when I don't want to chop an onion? I either use onion powder or, even better, in this case, I'm gonna use chives. I have some dry chives. My fresh chives are not ready yet. They're growing. So, here it is. So you just chop them. This is a very, very quick recipe. These are going to bake at 425 for approximately 15 minutes, according to how big they are. I feel much better today. I just posted something and you guys were commenting and were sharing. Thank you so much about finding that sometimes sharing and finding the cause of what makes us angry really helps us release that anger, the resentment. And I said, yesterday something happened that really made me angry, and I woke up really emotionally hungover for this. And then I talked to a friend, and as I was talking, I started crying, and I hadn't been able to do it with Ben for some reason. And as I cried, I felt the relief and the release of what I was feeling, and I wasn't angry anymore. I realized that I was hurting, and then my ego was hurting, and it was such a beautiful realization of when you become vulnerable and really allow yourself to go beyond that first feeling that you have, which can be anger or whatever it is. In my case, was anger. It's so beautiful, so powerful. I'm just rinsing my hand. Now, what I have here, this is one of those recipes, just like when we make a frittata, where you can kind of clean the fridge with it. That's why I love it. And let me see. Okay, so we have our spinach. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the egg. This is just 1 egg that I used yesterday. The spinach, of course, I rinsed out most of the water. I let them cool down a little, and then I saved the rest of the water for the bread. If you don't want to use bread, you can use rice, if you have some rice in the fridge. I made this sourdough bread with a new kind of flour, and I really loved the result, so I decided to go with it. Now, I'm going to add salt, add some... I'm going to add the chives, and I'm actually also going to add some nutmeg. I really like nutmeg with, oh, I can't find the chives. Here it is. I like nutmeg with spinach, just a hint. It's also because I'm going to use a little bit of ricotta cheese. That's my salt. Just a tiny bit of nutmeg. And again, you don't have to use the ricotta. I just have it from yesterday. Chives. I like chives. So I like the idea of, ooh, it already smells so good. Now we're going to add our bread. salty enough. I'm gonna add our bread. I'm just gonna squeeze it out a little. There's a lot of bread in here. This can be called bread meatballs with a side of spinach. You know, when the bread is good, you just want to use it for anything. I know when they say when the bread is stale, like, I like to use bread when it's good. So now, of course, it needs some more. Yeah, there's a lot of bread in here. I like it. I'm sure that Catherine will like it. I may actually add another egg to make sure that everything sticks together. If you don't need eggs, you can easily do an egg substitute with flaxseed meal. 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal to 3 tablespoons of water equal half an egg. So, you know, calls for 2 eggs, do 3 egg substitute. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of this ricotta cheese, because why not? Again, you don't have to. I just want to use it. And now I'm going to add some breadcrumbs just to get the right thickness. They don't have to be too thick, you know. You can add some parsley here. You can add more cheese. I don't think I'm even going to put Parmesan cheese. I like this idea of spinach and the ricotta. So now almost a little bit more salt. It was almost going to be kind of a gnudi, but with bread and in the oven. So let's add some more breadcrumbs just to give a tiny bit more consistency. And then we roll it in a meatball. I'm very curious about these because these are going to be so good. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on top. Let me see if they tiny bit more. The spinach tend to have a lot of water. These are very good fresh spinach. I like to use my spinach as soon as I buy them. I try to use them pretty soon. It's one of those greens that are really good when eaten right away. Kale, I think, can stay until the end of the week. So, perfect. Okay, we have a perfect consistency. They become a meatball. So you make them as big or small as you want. And then drizzle some olive oil on top before putting them in the oven. We bake for 15-20 minutes at 425, and we hope they're good. You know, I don't see why they wouldn't be. So try and make them. Let me know this recipe both on the website and on Instagram. Thank you for following. Really curious. Buon appetito, guys. Bye.